Most of the Star Wars shows on Disney Plus suck. I mean, there's a couple of exceptions. Mandalorian, seasons 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's a consensus anyway.
Yeah, I think everybody concedes that. Andor, I still think the best thing that Star Wars has ever done since the original trilogy. And then you got a lot of other stuff. One of the things that I was looking forward to, at least I started to look forward to, and then it didn't turn out so good, was Obi-Wan. Although I contend that Obi-Wan Vader fight in the finale was baller.
Mm-hmm.
Not their first fight earlier in the season, but their finale fight was incredible. I give it all the flowers in the world, even though I ended up really not liking the show very much. Well, there's been a lot of questions since Obi-Wan is such an important character in Star Wars canon and Star Wars lore. And a lot of people, of course, love Ewan McGregor playing the role. There've been a lot of people wondering if maybe they'll do a season 2. Well, at a convention this past weekend, Ewan McGregor hinted that they're still possibly looking at doing it. This comes to us from Screen Rant, who's quoting somebody who was at Ewan McGregor's panel, who reported this. Watched Ewan's panel, and his exact words about Kenobi Season 2 were, another few stories in there, and we're definitely hoping, exploring what I think would be the word to say. So Ewan McGregor is saying that they are exploring ideas. Now, before anybody gets too excited about that, for every 100 things that studios and writers and creatives explore, maybe one thing gets made. Now, I'm still of the belief that they won't do a season 2. I wouldn't mind a season 2, but I don't think they'll do one. And one of the main reasons is the ratings for it. I mean, if we take a look at this came to us from Luminate Data, who wrote this. Obi-Wan, in their report, Obi-Wan Kenobi looked like a massive hit. It launched with 7.52 million views for the premiere's first 2 days, just the first 2 days. But then that number dropped to 4.74 million in the first 2 days for the third episode. And that's a 37% decrease. By its finale, Obi-Wan was down to 3.91 million views in the first 2 days. So it's one of those things where, like The Acolyte started really strong with its viewers, relatively so. The problem is the viewership did this. And that's what Obi-Wan did, right? A lot of people were clearly very interested in Obi-Wan show with the return of dudes. I was in Anaheim. I was at D23 when Ewan McGregor came out on stage and he said to Kathleen Kennedy, Kathy, ask me if I'm coming back as Obi-Wan. And Kathy Kennedy said to him, Ewan, are you coming back as Obi-Wan? And he said, yes. and the crowd went nuts and everybody went crazy.
Oh, why wouldn't you?
And everybody loves Ewan McGregor, right? I don't like the prequels at all, but I liked Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan.
Yeah, but I was cheerleading for that to happen, for sure.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I would personally be open to a second season. But John, I thought you said you didn't like season 1. I didn't. But Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, right?
Mm-hmm.
Season 1 was a bitter disappointment. I almost didn't even watch season 2. But they went back to the locker room at halftime. They wrote out their X's and O's. They figured out what they were doing well, the few things that they were doing well, and they figured out the things they were doing badly. They course corrected, came out, and like to my utter shock, Rings of Power season 2 was actually pretty damn good. And I think in Obi-Wan, as disappointing of a show that I think it was, there were pieces there, Jonathan.
Yep.
There were building blocks there. They had the pieces that I think if they did it right, and that was only reinforced by, there was a fan online. I keep forgetting the dude's name, so forgive me.
Yeah.
But there was a fan online who took the series Obi-Wan, moved things around, edited a bunch of things out, and put it into one 2-hour and 45-minute movie or something like that. And I'm not going to, Obi-Wan still wasn't great, but it was a huge improvement. That tells me the building blocks are there. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Life 360 tile trackers. So when I go out, I often bring my little backpack satchel. It's small and just big enough to hold my iPad, a backup battery, my wallet, and a few other things. Anyway, last year at a poker tournament, I thought I lost it. I freaked out for over an hour until I finally realized I had left it in the car. I wish that I had Life 360 tile trackers back then. And that's why you need Life 360's tile trackers. It's perfect for keeping track of all the important stuff that always seems to go missing. Keys, wallets, backpacks, you name it. If something's nearby, just ring your tile through the app, and if it's far away, you can track it on the map. Super simple. I've even got an electric bike that I keep in my backyard that would be pretty expensive to replace, so I slapped a tile tracker on that too. Instant peace of mind. And here's another thing I love. Unlike some other trackers, Tile won't alert thieves with notifications. It's great for families because it's not just about tracking stuff, it's about that peace of mind. So if you're ready to family-proof your family, head to tile.com and use the code CAMPEA to get 15% off your Tile trackers today. That's tile.com, code CAMPEA.
Yeah.
And if they can do what, say, Rings of Power did, go back to the drawing board and say, what are the things we can improve and what are the good things that we can build upon? And if they could do that, we might actually get some. Look, so I'll say this. I'd be down for a season 2, but I still don't, because of those ratings, I still don't think it's going to happen. But at least we know the thought of it is still alive, with Ewan saying they're exploring.
It's season 2 is happening from a certain point of view.
From a certain point of view. But you said there would be a season 2. Well, what I said was true.
From a certain point of view.
Ahsoka was, yeah, anyway. Guys, question is for you. What do you think about Ewan McGregor's comments? Did you watch the Obi-Wan series? If so, did you like it? Were you like me and disappointed in it? If you were disappointed, would you be up for a season 2? And do you think they'll ultimately do it? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.